Hello, so we are going to start with opening configuration tool from a desktop. This is your main window to design or to build a configuration file. The first thing we need to do is to create new site. So you can click on this button on the bottom, and items in red needs to have your attention, needs to be filled out before you can go further. So let's give this name a site something like meaningful. I'll call it 123 Main Street. Okay, and this information for default gateway is not really needed at this time for simple configuration. You would need to have this done when there are different networks in the building between E-Link network and building network, and if there is a need to connect them together, then this information would be needed. Let's, for the heck of it, let's just create one. And as you type it, you'll see that you have available space. So basically from 1 to 255, you have 255 devices that you can connect on this. Once this is done, we need to add the server. You can click the button on the bottom, or you can right click over here and select new server. So there are different options, and we have GC, stat server, kick. So let's start with kick for now. And again, item in red, let's give it a name, and we'll just call it kick1. And they need IP address 127.0.0.2. Okay, and then we can add the channels. Let's start with simple channel CAN connection. Notice that you have channel 0 and channel 1. So your kick usually has two channels, XO and X1, and that's what this index is referring to. Okay, then we can add a group either by clicking the item on the bottom, the button on the bottom, or again right click and we'll create new group. Again, let's give this group something meaningful. We're going to have a group of 2 cars, so I'm going to have it as duplex. Okay, group ID refers to parameter 155, so we'll keep it at 0. Location is irrelevant in our case, and let's decide whether or not we want to have what kind of how many floors we're going to have. Let's call it I'll say let's 6. Call it front and rear. Also, there is an option for floors, and this is where you can define whether or not you're going to have some dummy floors, for example. And let's select a floor 3 designated as dummy. So we select the highlight this item. We can right click and do set floor type as dummy. It's one option. And when you select this option, it basically is going to remove the door information from you. But you can select either if you have a door, if it's not a dummy floor, there are some options, but basically this is what we go for. Now, once we in the group location, let's add a couple of cars. We're going to have elevator 1, and right click on this line again. We're going to have elevator 2. So let's do some editing for elevator 1. Let's call it meaningful L1. Elevator 1 over here, number 1 refers to parameter 151. So in this case, it would be a value of 33. And we're going to have this elevator having only, right now it shows that we have front and rear. You can change this car to have only front, and it's going to be reflected over here. For car number 2, we're going to call it L2. Notice elevator number 2 changed parameter to second car in the chain, and which would be parameter 151 set to 34. And we'll keep this as front and rear. Okay, this is one option. Okay, we can save it, and keep in mind the saving, disregard this, the saving we need to do in one folder only. You're going to find a folder called Kony E-Link. Inside it, they're going to be folder site, and you just click on choose that. So the file is saved in there. So next time you just click on save instead of save as, and it's going to be saved in that folder. Also, please keep in mind that on your key there should be only one and only one configuration file, and it should better be set in that site folder. Because we see many cases where people change configuration files, save them in different folders, and we have a mess. So let's keep it uniform. All right, so let's add another channel to this kick. Let's add, let's say, new escalator channels. Let's add a couple of escalators there. So, and again, as you see, as soon as you select a new group or server or channel, it gives you some information. So let's keep it at 0 over here. Let's keep all these defaulted to these values. So we can add a group by clicking on add group here, or we can do new group over here. And this new group, again, we need to give it a name. So let's give it, I don't know, main escalators. Right click, add the escalator. Right click on the above line again, add escalator. Let's do modification. We're gonna call one of these escalator 1. We're not going to change anything here. And we do escalator 2 underscore 2. Okay. These values here are not needed at this time. Let's fix this to be escalator 1. Okay, so let's finish with this kick, and let's add another channel to that kick. Let's add Ethernet channel. Let's say we're going to have a some kind of a group. It's going to be on channel 0. Let's do the kick address. We're going to call it 127.0.0.3. Okay, and it's going to be single Ethernet, single KGC box. So let's add the group. I'm figuring let's call it, make a 6-car group, and we call it group 6 bank, I guess. That would be fine. At this time, we also need to select what model this is. So this is important. We have LC KGC. Okay, and let's select what kind of flooring we're going to have. Let's have 20 floors. You can do up and down, or you can just type in. And let's, for simplicity, have only front. We'll have a scheduler to enabled. And then let's check the floor if we want to change anything. So let's say we have 20 floors here. Let's make change the floor locations, naming, and what have you. So let's set a couple of changes in floor markings. We're going to call the bottom floor as P for parking. Let's call floor 3. Let's make it a dummy floor. Set floor as dummy. And let's have a couple of more dummy floors like these floors. Let's say we can select 2 floors as dummy. Right click, set floor dummies. Okay, we can replace this floor markings, let's call it, double click on that and we'll call it diamond at 15. Let's call this diamond at 14. Now let's call this diamond at 3. Okay, so now we have our group configuration. It doesn't mean that every car has to adhere to this, but as far as like floor markings and dummy, every car in the group is going to have that. So again, also notice group 0. If you're sitting on the same kick, you want to change it from 0 to 2. These group IDs must be either 0 or even numbers for conventional cars. Okay, so let's add 6 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and let's modify them. So we're going to call this car 1. Okay, also notice it's already got the floor configuration the same. We're not going to change it. Elevator number 1 for elevators connected to a KGC on a external PC group. The parameter 151 here should start at value 21. So 1 here means 21 on LC CPU. Okay, then same thing we do for next car. Let's do car 2. Let's capitalize C. It really doesn't matter, but it looks better. Okay. Then we do the same thing for car 3. And notice how elevator numbers change accordingly. And let's do the last car in the group. So this parameter 6 again, value 6 refers to parameter 151, and for car number 6 to be 26. Okay, so let's see what else can we do. Let's add another server. Server is added to the site, new server, and again, let's have it as a workstation. So we're going to have kick and statistical server, and we give it a name. We're going to call it I don't know, main workstation or something. Okay, for now I'm gonna disable statistics server option until all the kicks are configured. This would be the last item on the list to configure before we go live. And again, let's do the IP address. Okay, and let's see. I don't like this naming. Let's do main underscore workstation. Okay, don't change anything here. Everything stays as a default. Now, oh, it doesn't do that. Okay. It's strange sometimes in naming. If you want to put a dash, it won't let you. And you have to go the underscore. Sometimes it's the other way around. Go figure. Don't ask me why. Okay, so let's add another Ethernet channel. And we're going to be building a, let's put the IP address 127.0.0.5.4, I guess, and then backup, because it is a DCS, we need to have 2 of the KGCs. So we're going to update these. And then we need to add a new group, and we call this group very simple DCS group. Okay, and we need to select the model that we use in DD is a double-decker, which we're not going to have. So we're going to have a LC KGC DCS or LC KGC hybrid. The difference between regular DCS and hybrid is that the first one has no COP buttons for regular passengers and has DOPs at every floor. A hybrid has both. It might have regular landing and DOP combined in different floors, plus it will have a COP panel inside the cab. So let's use the hybrid. Doesn't matter, for simplicity, let's use DCS. Okay, so let's create a new group, and we created a new group, and let's add the elevators. So let's say we're going to have 4 elevators. So it'll be 1, it'll be 2, 3, 4. In DCS, designations are assigned as with letters rather than numbers. So we're going to call it car A. And again, elevator number over here, it would be 21. This would be car B. Car C. And this would be car D. Forgot one more thing. On the group level, the group ID must be 1. This only for DCS. Okay, let's save the file. And I think that, and also we'll do the, once each kick in the building is configured, then we can select static server. Okay, and before you configure static server, you select which cars are there. So remember, once the kick file is connected and configured, we need to click on configure here, and we need to first configure on the kick option, and then when we're at the static server, we're going to configure the static server. Okay, and now let's move on to creating views. There are a couple of ways to create views. View wizard is probably the easiest way to do it, so I recommend you doing it. So once you click on that, it gives you an option. So we're going to have a side view first. Let's start with side view, and we're going to add main escalators. We'll view main escalators. When you do duplex, we can edit this, and we'll do we'll do the duplex here. Click OK. It's a group view. This is DCS group. We're going to edit and do DCS group. Okay. Why is it not going to duplex? Edit. Duplex. Okay. Oh, wrong place. Link to duplex here. Then over here, we're going to link to DCS group. Okay. And this we're going to link to the group of 6. Where the hell is this? Site 2 duplex. Let's cancel this once again and try it. I'm going to go to bank of 6 right there on top, missed it. Click OK. Now when we do extended view, it's basically by default it selects each car in extended view. Escalators, duplex, we have DCS group, and we have a bank of 6. And shaft file, we're gonna have a traffic view, so we can add another. We have 6 car, we have destination group, we have duplex. Let's set escalators to the same. So it would be escalators over here, and these all individual ones. Okay, so let's save it again. As you notice, we have less than 2 warnings, so we're getting closer to the end of it. So let's go to create different role settings. So we need this for access rights. So we have some people who have full access to it, and some people who have just monitoring or limited access to whatever they can do and how they can interact remotely with our elevators. So let's give it just the name. We're going to call it boss view. Okay. Now let's call the name admin right. Admin. Okay, fine. And you see, this is the options that's already pre-selected. We can give it more options if we want. And this is all this view that this particular user is able to operate. Let's set another user who is just add new role. We call it user. Okay, and let's remove things that user should not be able to access, and we'll remove pretty much everything except maybe can park elevators and set elevator car calls and destination calls. Yeah, just make calls. Okay. So we're done with this, and now we're going to password. So let's add one. Let's call the name is master, I guess. Okay, and if you select the line of master, these 2 columns going to highlight. Double click in it and give you options, and you select admin rights. Oops. Okay, so we can reset password for this, and let's make it gateway. Okay, and then we're going to add another role, another user. We're going to just call it I don't know, just a user. Okay, and again highlight, select user with limited rights. Now let's select the password for this, and we're going to call it Connie. Oops. Yeah, Connie. Okay, so we can save the file. File is saved, and this is for your information. You use standard lift faults that by default available to be displayed, listed. Specific faults, you can select them to be displayed. Yeah, also I think I forgot, when you select the group of escalators, yeah, it's probably need to change it to ANSI for American rather than European. Okay, so pretty much done with this. Remember that we save them in going into folder documents, going E-Link. Inside you have all these files, and this is the date of creation. Okay, so I'm gonna close this application and try to open Kony E-Link. So when E-Link opens, it will ask us to locate the file or use the username. So let's use master and gateway put password. Click OK. We accept the conditions. So it will let me make the windows a little bit bigger. So usually they pop on top of another. So you have your, you can basically click and move as you desire. Okay. Made a mistake on this DCS group. You see, I want to make more floors than just 2 floors. So I'm gonna close this guy up. And then go back to scheduler. Configuration tool. Open the file. When we open the files, should go parallel. I got documents on E-Link site. Double click on configuration. So we right click, expand branch. We go to my DCS group and we'll change these to, let's say, dozen floors. Okay, we need to save it. Also, one thing, once you change something within the group, you want to reconfigure this kick. So you would need to click on the undo the statistic server, then do configuration, reboot your system, then open it, select statistic, and configure that again. Okay, so it's all saved. Closing it, opening traffic view. Again, we're going to have to log in and gateway. Okay, now we have bank of 6, we have destination group. Again, we made a mistake. We have them all dummies. Okay, we need to close it. Stuff like this happens a lot, and it's probably a good exercise tool. And let's expand branch. Let's go to DCS group. Let's go to the flooring. So you see each car, so we need to go to each car because the group has all the floors, but the group, we need to change it. The highest floor would be 12 on all cars. So you can make one car and go 11 floors, I don't know. It's up to you, it depends on configuration in the field. Right, so hopefully, and again, we have to go through the process of reconfiguring over here. Okay, so let me minimize it in case I made more mistakes. Again. Click OK. Yeah, this looks much better. So let's go through these little options here. This is the settings, so you can get license agreement if you need to read, if you want to know about. Right here, it's going to give you the version number, which is useful information when we try to troubleshoot this remotely. Auto configuration, you don't need to do this. This would need to be done only when you have destination 820. You can change the user from master to regular user. This is informational. Locales, if you like in places where Spanish is required, you can click on that, or French for French Canadian, and same thing for the languages. So this option will just give you full screen. This basically your navigation tree. So with all views, you see all these groups together. You can expand it. You can be all views together again. You can see only duplex. You can see 6 bank. You have escalators. You have DCS group. Okay, and let's just look at 6 banks, for example. If your screen is big enough, you may want to make it look bigger, easier to follow. So you just right click somewhere, change floor height to a larger, a better view. So it's just easier to see. Same thing you can do in DCS. You can change the floor width from wide to narrow, if that's what you want. And this shows only shaft. So let's do standard. Okay, in other options, this is side view. So we have 4 groups of 4 set of devices. So by clicking one, by bringing the mouse over one, you'll see the details. What's in there? If you double click, it will open specific group. This is extended view. It's pretty much the same, but kind of like a collapsed view. And again, by double clicking one, you'll return to, you'll open that particular group. Okay, now as you see, all these cars show OFL. OFL means offline, and I'm doing this tutorial on a computer that is not connected to the elevators. If it were connected, you would see them in green for normal operation, in red for possible faults, yellow when the elevator is in service or some special mode. So that's the end of the tutorial, and for this configuration and traffic view for now. And thank you for listening and for watching. Also, if my accent is not very understandable, feel free to stop the video and call me. Thanks again. Bye.